Alright, hi people, it's Shakes here, and I'm here to do another unboxing and review for you guys today of the Ranger Key set, or Memorial Edition. It's weird how they, put the name for this, but it's basically Ranger Key set, Anniversary Heroes, and Donbrothers set, and then also Memorial Edition. Or maybe just Memorial Edition, Anniversary Heroes, and Donbrothers set. I'm not sure exactly how it's supposed to be parsed, but it's a Ranger key set of about 6 teams, I believe. Five teams. Just wanted to make sure. 5 teams of every Sentai team that's number in the series or in the franchise for their series ends in 6. Yeah, because that won't get confusing. I kind of do hope that they continue to do sets like this, though, and we'll get maybe a Ranger Key set for every series that ends in 7, then we could do 8, then 9, then 0, then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I hope that they release those quicker than once a year. But yeah, we have this because I assume because they wanted to sell a Ranger Key set for the Donbrothers, but they couldn't justify charging over $100 USD, or closer to $200 USD, and how much that would be in yen. So they thought, hey, let's do deluxe keys for these other teams that end in 6. Plus, they probably thought that they could maybe cash in on the Power Rangers fandom and the Mighty Morphin nostalgia by including G-Ranger keys, which, luckily for them, that really added up in regards to the numbers, because G-Ranger was technically the 16th series in the overall franchise. So, yeah, but yeah, so this is a key set of Goggle 5, which was the 6th series overall, G-Ranger 16, Hurricaneger 26, and Go Busters 36, and Donbrothers 46. Unfortunately, there are no sounds for the Donbrothers keys as of yet in the Mobirates. They did program a sound in the Memorial Gokai Cellular, but right now there is no sound for Donbrothers or anyone else past Zenkaiger in the Memorial Mobirates, because at the time that they were making this and having the voice actor for this in the show record every Sentai team's name and roll call and whatever for it, Donbrothers was, I think, probably very early on in pre-production, if not non-existent in Toei's minds or Bandai's minds. So yeah, so the sound that it does make, or that the Donbrothers keys do make in this, are a bit unique. They did have the voice actor, record a new sound for this, I believe, just for Ranger keys, that would come after. And I believe as well, someone said this in the comment section, I believe, of another video that someone did showing off the sounds and everything for this. The Donbrothers keys apparently are cut differently than the other teams, so that's good. So pretty much future-proofing if they release another version of the Memorial Mobirates, maybe for the 50th anniversary. Who knows? In 4 years. Or 3 years technically at this point. Because, right, 47th Sentai. But, yeah, is what the next one's gonna be. But, yeah. With 5 additional team names. But we'll see what happens eventually. So yeah, and like I said, I do hope that they keep doing key packs like this. I definitely love to have every single Ranger key that they could do in this line. They could do all the main teams with the up to 5 and 6 Ranger teams. Then they could do extra heroes. They could do additional team members and everything, kind of like they did in the Ranger key packs from like 2014 and 2015, and I think 2016. that unfortunately did not have proper key cuts, so they can't work in any mobile pirates outside of or past Go Busters. But yeah. So, long-winded thing out of the way for this. I do hope that they do more sets like this. I would love to see and have them. So, yeah. Unfortunately for me and some other people who bought the previous Ranger Key sets from the last year, they did release at least 5 of these keys beforehand in the new sets. With all of them, with the 2 Red Ranger sets, with Go Ranger up until Gokaiger with the Aka Red key in there. We have Goggle 5, we have G Ranger and Hurricaneger. And in the second Red Ranger key set for Go Busters up until Zenkaiger, we have Red Buster. And in the with the Memorial Gokai Cellular, we have Dragon Ranger from G Ranger because Dragon Ranger Time Fire and Abare Killer's keys came with that because they activate sounds, or they allowed Gokai Silver to have certain things in the show, so makes sense. And not only that, but the 2 Kaiser key and the Gold Anchor key as well came with that. And recently released was the Squeaker unit, which you can see a review of that on my channel. I just released it several days prior to when you're going to see this video, and yeah, we got an additional 6 of the 6th Rangers, or extra Rangers, from the different teams from between Go Busters to Zenkaiger. So yeah. But yeah, and I'm going to do a comparison between these keys and the ones that are in here, because they did do some improvements to at least a few of the keys, maybe. But we'll see. So, yeah. And I'm an idiot. I completely forgot to get the original keys that I have from the previous non-flipping keys that I have out for the Go Busters keys, which I do have. Yeah, and the funny thing is I was also going to buy the Hurricaneger set, because I don't think I have that. Yeah, I don't have the Hurricaneger set, but this was announced before I, bit the bullet and bought it, so, yeah. I'd rather buy keys new and with the flip gimmick than either used or over 10 years old without the flip gimmick. So, yeah. But enough about that long-winded stuff. Let's get to the review. So here's the box. I love the way that this looks. It goes with the Memorial Edition stuff and the other stuff that they've been doing. It's like a halfway point between the Memorial Mobile and Gokai Cellular and the Akiba Ranger set that came out. So yeah. You have the suits for the other Red Rangers of the teams with G Ranger, Hurricaneger, Goggle 5, and Go Busters. They're out of order, but they might have been taken from stock photos, so that's whatever. Then you got the Donbrothers right here, which is kind of cool. And then the name of the set: Anniversary Heroes and Donbrothers Set Memorial Edition. You got the Bandai Namco logo, stuff in Japanese. Approved by Toei Company, and then Bandai right there. You got the side right here, which shows off a lot of the keys in the set, with the Donbrothers keys front and center, because they are 6 new keys, because they do include the 6th Rangers in this, if the teams had them. So yeah, and you got a bunch of the other ones, which is really nice. So yeah, some of them are faded, but that's honestly not that bad. It kind of it's reminiscent of the little void, grayish void from the Gokaiger's opening, and sometimes in the show. Oh, that's a white void. Then on the side here we got the keys that come in the set. with all 5 of the Goggle 5 Rangers, all 6 of the Jew Rangers, all 6 of the Hurricangers, all 5 of the Go Busters, and all 6 of the Donbrothers with their series logos above them, which is honestly pretty cool. Don't know if they're going to canonize the Donbrothers keys, but we'll see. I think they canonized the Zenkaiger key, or Zenkaiger keys, so. And if they show up in a future anniversary movie or special or whatever that the Gokaigers are in, that's going to be fine. So here we got 3 things of keys with the Donbrothers on top. Goggle 5 and Jew Ranger right here, and then Go Busters and Hurricanger right there. So yeah, let's just go in order of release, I guess, for these. So yeah. So most of these keys did get originally released in either Gashapon or Candy Toy versions. And on top of that, a lot of them got released originally in the Ranger key sets for the Red Rangers. So, bit of repeat keys, and I'm sorry if you did get the Ranger key set that had a lot of the Rangers that didn't get, like, fully distributed, that they released, after the main Ranger keys were done. I think it was, like, in 2012 or 2013 when they released that. In, like, I think that was supposed to be Candy Toy form, where you apply the stickers and everything. But, yeah. But luckily I didn't buy, those sets, the more expensive ones. I bought the more affordable ones when I did buy the original Ranger keys. So, yeah. Here we got Goggle 5 and, G Ranger. So here we got Red Ranger. I'm not familiar with Goggle 5, so I don't know their designations off the top of my head. So yeah, and he already had a flippable key, so not really much of a difference. The only thing I'm noticing in regards to a difference personally is the V on this guy's chest is more light, closer to a yellow, where this is more close to a faded gold. That's about it. That's about it from what I'm seeing. Nothing else is really sticking out to me in regards to major differences between these two keys. They're basically the same. Oh, the stripe right here is more down to the thing above the spring for his legs on the newer version of the key. They did make some improvements. They did announce that they were going to make some improvements, which mainly were for the G Ranger keys, but yeah. So, not too many more differences, maybe just some slight differences in regards to paint apps here and there, but they're basically the same, outside of a few minor differences. So yeah. And there's no, like, copyright information or anything on these. So yeah. Alright. So I guess I'll just leave these in here. Oh, so then we got the Blue Ranger. Yeah, I've never had the other Goggle 5 keys, so this is actually really nice. So yeah. So really not much else to say on that. Actually, let me keep the Ranger keys out of the packaging. So then the Yellow Ranger. I do like that the main difference is in the helmets. The visors on them mainly. And the Black Ranger. Yeah, unfortunately for a lot of these keys, in this set in particular, G-Ranger did not get all of its keys released in, like, deluxe form, but they are out there, because people did collect them. Like I said, Blue, I believe, was released in Candy Toy form. Green was released with, or Dragon Ranger was released with the Gokai Spear, for Gokai Silver, and Red Ranger was released in the Red Ranger set. So Yellow, Black, and Pink, I believe, were just released in Gashapon form. So, yeah, but they are out there. I do believe that they are being sold on various websites. Go Busters was released in its own set, but thankfully in this set, the two keys are metallic. Those were only limited edition before. Hurricaneger was released in its own set, and on top of that, Shurikenger was released in a deluxe thing. Or the main 5 were released in its own set, and then Shurikenger was released with keys for the Gokai Cellular, with the Anchor key, the original version of it. And the Red Ranger was released in different places. Really, the only new keys are the Donbrothers keys, so yeah. Which is why some people didn't or weren't looking forward to the set. Like, I saw Heroes of Fandom's reaction to the announcement of this set, and he didn't really care for the fact that they were releasing the other keys with the Donbrothers set, and I do think that Bandai should have probably also released just a Donbrothers set, but yeah. So we got the Pink Ranger. So yeah, basically all the details are pretty good on these keys. So yeah, you just put these right here. Next up, we have Kyoryu Sentai Zyuranger, aka Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Season 1. Although they did keep the suits for the rest of the series. And this is actually really cool. On these versions of the keys, they added the white trim around the visor, and they fixed the diamond pattern shape to be consistent across the board with the main 5 keys. So that's actually really interesting. So this is the one that came with the first 34 team sets. Here we go. And this is the one that came with the original first 34 sets. These two are basically the same, although the diamond was altered a little bit on the new one. And then the one that came with this set has the white trim around the visor, and the diamond is a little bit more skinny, but then also longer. Because, yeah, and I remember that being a worry amongst some people that saw the announcement and saw that the keys, at least the prototype ones that they showed off in pictures, did not have matching diamonds on the chest. So I think that Bandai heard that and took care of that. So that's actually really nice. It really does help with the... Oh, and they have the silver detailing for the teeth on the helmet. You can barely see it because of the light, but that is honestly good attention to detail. I didn't notice that in a couple of the other videos I saw for this set. That's nice. So yeah, that's honestly really nice. I like that. So yeah, and again, I don't have the other 4 keys that didn't come with other things. So we have that was a Tyranno Ranger, Tricera Ranger, aka the Blue Ranger. And his is more of a silver trim. That's fine. It's kind of like the the Lightning Collection a little bit, the inconsistent visor trims, but it's whatever at this point. That's really cool. And the diamonds, as you can probably, I'll just let you guys see, the diamonds are basically the same across these two, or at the very least, they're close in size. So then, I forget this one's designation, but the Yellow Ranger. I know he's a saber-toothed tiger, but I can't remember his exact designation because I think it's something different. I need to watch G-Ranger. But yeah, that's actually really cool. I love having these keys. Mighty Morphin suits are some of the most overrepresented in the Power Rangers fandom, but I do like Ranger keys. Then we got Mammoth Ranger. Yeah, Mammoth, not a Mastodon. I don't know why they made it a Mastodon in Mighty Morphin. It's a Mammoth. And even in the Japanese dub of Mighty Morphin, they called it a Mammoth. So, yeah. I think a Mastodon might have been a type of Mammoth. But yeah. And that's really nice, the white trim around the visor. I guess they didn't give Yellow Ranger that, because, granted, I don't think they had that on his suit. But yeah. And yeah, the Yellow Ranger's a boy in Japan, named Boy. So, that's probably one of the most overused jokes in the Sentai fandom when introducing it to Power Rangers only fans. So, yeah. And we got Teddy Ranger, aka the Pink Ranger. So, yeah. And she did not get any trim around the visor, but I don't know if she got it on her helmet in the show, so I don't remember off the top of my head. But otherwise it just looks pretty good. Got the skirt line. They didn't need to have it there. Actually, no, yeah, they did, right, because the skirt on these suits did have the white trim on the bottom of them. So yeah. And we got the last one for G-Ranger, which is Dragon Ranger, aka the Green Ranger, RIP JDF. Yeah. And unfortunately, they didn't really fix anything or improve anything with this guy. They just basically, I think, threw in ones that they had already produced for the previous set into this, which is whatever, and they just applied the same paint apps and everything. I'm pretty sure he also had... Didn't he also have white trim around his visor? Yeah. Maybe I'm just thinking of the Fighting Spear version of the thing, but it's yeah, I thought there was more to the helmet than what this one was able to give. But these are basically identical. So, yeah. So, that's that for Goggle 5 and G-Ranger. Now, we have... Move these guys over. We have Hurricaneger and Go Busters. I should have gotten these out. Hold on. Alright, so after a bit of finagling, with the box that they were in, I got out the original Ranger keys that were in the set for comparison because I am an idiot and didn't think before I did this. One thing I also just want to show off, the original version of the Goggle 5 key, or Goggle Red key, versus the first flip one and the second one that came in this set. Literally, these two are almost indistinguishable, and this one only has minute differences, like I already said. So yeah, so now we're on to Hurricanegers and Go Busters. So yeah. So here we go with Hurricane Red, aka Ninja Storm, if you're only familiar with Power Rangers. And they did update this a little bit. I don't prepare for these things at all, do I? Oh wait, yeah, I do. So yeah, and there are some updates that they made between this version of the key and the original. Not a lot. Mainly the white trim at the bottom of the visor, or not visor, at the bottom of the helmet. But it's otherwise the same, and here's the original deluxe version of the key from a decade ago. These two are basically indistinguishable. Meanwhile, the only difference on this is the additional white trim on the bottom of the helmet. So yeah, on the bottom of where the mouth is. So yeah, they didn't add the gray mesh or anything to the arms, which I think would have been nice, but beggars can't be choosers in some areas. But yeah. So otherwise, that's honestly really cool. And it doesn't have a second phrase. But yeah. Just gonna stick with the Hurricanegers here. The main three. Hurricane Blue, which is in this nice, like, sky blue. Again, I didn't have this set, the original version of the set, so yeah. Unfortunately, for some reason on Hurricane Blue, they didn't paint the lines for the skirt, even though the blue right there shows that it's a skirt, because this is a female ranger. So yeah, and I believe on the original version of the key they did have it, and in the show they did. So yeah, because this is a female ranger key. However, in Gokaiger, the majority of the time, the key is used by Joe, and it gets gender flipped to be a male key. So, or male version of the suit. So yeah. Then we get Hurricane Yellow. And yeah, so again, really not much in regards to, from what I can tell, differences between the original versions of the keys and these. So yeah, and you can tell that this is supposed to have the lines for the skirt, because this doesn't have the little gap area with the color like this one does. And just to show it like Terra Ranger from Zyuranger did. So yeah. So now we're on to the Gokaigers. And I'm not sure what the designations for these guys are. I know Kabuto Ranger and something Ranger. But yeah. So yeah, someone in the comments will probably correct me on the designations. But we have this guy, which also became a gender-flipped suit. Yellow also became gender-flipped within Gokaiger. They both got skirts. And became female versions of the suits. So yeah. And there are technically 3 different teams within Hurricaneger. There are Hurricaneger, Gokaiger, and Shurikanger. And all of them have different sounds in the Mopirates, I believe. Or at least they're supposed to. Hold on. Getting out my Legend Mopirates. Huh, interesting. I swear that I remember seeing videos where they did. Huh. These are the same key cut as the Hurricanegers, so... I swear, though, that these did, unless that was just in the show? That's weird. I don't know why they changed the key cuts with these, but whatever. So we have Crimson Thunder Ranger, because these were the Thunder Rangers in Power Rangers Ninja Storm. But yeah, I do like the looks of these keys, and I do like that this is clearly a more, like, muted red, as opposed to the more regular red of Hurricane Red. And then we have Shurikanger, which is the first key that came in a deluxe form. And this should have... Yeah, this has a... Okay, so... Just to compare the keys. So the Gokaigers and the Hurricanegers have the exact same key cuts, but this has a slightly different one here. So I'll test that out. So yeah, and he has the gray mesh on his arms. So yeah. But to compare him to his original release, this is more the green that you'd expect with this suit, and this is more kind of like a forest green, whereas this is more of a... It's almost the same green as Dragon Ranger versus the more forest green of the original. But yeah, basically same paint apps, obviously same, like, mold and everything for at least the helmet. So, yeah, and that's why I dug these out. So, huh. That usually says Shurikenger. Okay. I swear. Oh, they did change the key cut. Okay, so the key cut is exactly the same as the Hurricaners on top, but they kept the bottom the same as the original? That's extremely weird. So they must have done the same thing with the Gokaigers. So, just to show you what sound it's supposed to make. So yeah, the original keys which still have the original key cuts, make the same sounds, but they didn't keep the key cuts consistent between the old ones and the new ones. So, yeah, that's bullshit, but whatever. So yeah, now we have the Go Busters, which is the first one in the sets to have already had an original key, or two different actually key Ranger key sets of 3 that came out, I think, after Go Busters premiered. Either that or after the first Superhero Taisen movie with Kamen Rider and Super Sentai. But yeah, so we got Red Buster right here, and I don't want to say there's any real difference between this version of the key and the one we got in the previous set. Okay. So no, it's basically, I wouldn't be surprised if they just took leftover Red Buster keys from when they produced the after Gokai Hero set and put them in here, because it's pretty much exactly the same with the same detailing and everything. So yeah, no real differences here. Same kind of detailing, same kind of paint apps. And here's the original from that deluxe set for comparison's sake. And the main difference is just the paint apps with the visor getting a more, like, sparkly, metallic sort of paint. And the gray, or the silver paint for the mouthpiece getting a more sparkly, metallic paint as well. As well as the eyes for the cheetah being more pronounced in terms of the green. But basically everything else is exactly the same. So, yeah, and the key cut's exactly the same as well. So, yeah. I can't remember which exact, I can't remember which exact one of these was the one I pulled out or whatever. So,
Go Busters! Busters, ready, go! 特命戦隊 Go Busters!
so yeah, that's the sound all 5 of them are gonna make. So yeah, interestingly enough, the set does not come with a Stagbuster, I think, in his civilian, like, robot form or whatever form this is. I haven't seen all of Go Busters, but this form at all. So yeah, that's the only thing that the original set came with that this doesn't. And funnily enough, all the paint apps are metallic, like metallic gold and silver on it for the most part. But the other 2 keys, and I'll show those off in a second when I'm going over those for Beat and Stagbuster, they are in a more dull coloring, whereas these are metallic. So yeah. So then we have Blue Buster, aka Power Rangers Beast Morphers, if you're more familiar with that. So yeah, now we have the original key from about 10 years ago. Again, no major differences, basically same molding and everything. The only difference is like maybe the blue's a little bit deeper, and this is maybe a little bit more faded because of how long I've had it and how long it's been out of its packaging. And the paints for the visor and the mouthguard are in a more metallic paint versus the original, which is just more of a dull paint to match the rest of it, which is whatever. It's just what they chose to do at the time. Yellow Buster. Funnily enough, I just got through Amazon. And you guys will see this review after this one. The Lightning Collection figure. So yeah. Bit of a weird thing with this one, though. The visor was painted orange in the show and on the original Ranger key, and on the Lightning Collection figure, the visor is supposed to be yellow. So they painted the visor on this a metallic orange instead of a metallic yellow. I don't know whether or not they could have made a metallic yellow. I assume they could have. But that is the biggest change between these two. That is just weird that they chose to do that. I don't know why they did that. It's inaccurate. That is weird. That is really weird. They're supposed to be matching the original keys and making them better. Yeah, that's just really weird to me that they chose to do a metallic orange instead of a metallic yellow. It's just kind of out of place. It kind of sticks out. So then we have, I think this is Stagbuster. And this nice metallic gold, and it matches some of the other Gold Rangers that we've gotten. Here's two Kaiser. And Paterenex, I believe. As well as the gold anchor key from the Memorial Gokai Cellular. And then we look at the original, and it's just in that 2011 to 2013 or so, maybe just 2012, like brownish gold plastic and paint. I'm really glad that we got this set because of the metallic paint on the Beat and Stagbuster keys. But yeah, it's basically the same in regards to like detailing and decaling and everything. It's just in a more metallic gold now, which is honestly pretty nice. I do like that. So we got, I think, Beat Buster. You could correct me in the comments. Which, just like that metallic paint. And plastic. And here's the original for comparison. Again, more just a dull gray instead of a silver. The blue's basically the same shade, and so is the black. Everything's basically the same in regards to decaling, so no worries there. The visor's also a more metallic blue, I think, to match the suit, whereas this blue is just to match the rest on the suit, which is a nice improvement. It's kind of a mixed bag with the Go Busters keys, but I'd say the rest of them are fine. For specifically these ones. Alright. Just gonna move these really quick. And then we have the first new keys of this set with the Donbrothers. Right here on the plastic it says Memorial Edition, which is nice. But we have the Donbrothers keys, and specifically, I think his designation is Don Momotaro for the Red Ranger. He was specifically used to advertise this key set. And I don't know why he's in that plastic bag, but okay. This is honestly pretty cool. First, like, actual new Ranger key. In a bit. And I mean, like, for, like, the newest Sentai team. So yeah, as of the recording of this video. So yeah, he has this sticker on the back, which you can easily just peel off, and I did for basically all of them. It's just a copyright sticker. So yeah. Don't know where that hair came from. But yeah. So this is actually really cool, the way that they did the Donbrothers keys. I was almost going to say Go Busters. The Donbrothers keys are fairly accurate to the suits, which is really nice. Mainly in the helmet area, but they do have the suit detailing pretty well as well. I haven't really seen anything outside of clips for Donbrothers, so I don't know. It's actually very interesting because I believe the Donbrothers also have the ability to change into past Sentai teams via their belts, like the Gokaigers. So, yeah, although they keep the belts when they change between teams, whereas the Gokaigers just change suits entirely. So, yeah. So we have that. Oh, yeah, and on the helmets, you have that little man bun sort of look, and then the visor comes off of the helmets, which is similar to Kaizoku, where his thing also came off of the helmets. So yeah, and this has a unique sound in the Memorial Gokai Cellular, even though it doesn't say Donbrothers. And all of these keys have the same sound as well. So the main sound, it says, is New Hero, and then it plays a snippet of, I think, what was supposed to be the original sound was a Special Ranger key, and I think it plays like a small segment of the thing you get when you press that. So here's in the Legend Mobile. Interesting. So it has a similar key cut to Denji Man. Where's Denji Man? Trying to find Denji. Here we go. Similar key cut to Denji Man. I guess it kind of does. Yeah. Yeah. Basically, that's just a bigger gap than this, but it's basically Denji Man. Interesting. Some of these keys do have, like, they do trigger older sounds in the older Mobiles. So yeah, again, haven't watched Donbrothers, so I don't know the designations of the rest of these. I've only heard Domino Motaro from some of the other Tokusatsu reviewers. So we have the Yellow Ranger. Which, yeah. So the biggest thing, again, is the helmet. Visor comes off the helmet, and then these what look like cat ears, but I don't think that's what they are. Correct me if I'm wrong. I need to actually watch Donbrothers. So then we have the Pink Ranger. He has a big visor, and this breaks trends in Sentai because male Ranger, and I think the yellow is female. But yeah, that's it's kind of funny. But yeah, big visor and a big thing coming off of his helmet. All right, so then we got the Black Ranger, which the way that they use CGI in this series is not great from what I can tell. They want to do big things, but unfortunately they're on a TV budget, and not only that, a cheap Japanese kid show TV budget, so yeah, like the Pink Ranger, for instance, I believe his limbs stretch to really ridiculous proportions in the show, and the Black Ranger shrinks to the size of a cat, because reasons I don't I don't entirely know. Only the red and yellow Rangers of the series are normally proportioned with the suit actors. So I don't know. So yeah, just the Black Ranger's Ranger Key. And he has the abnormally sized head, which... Not the first Ranger Key to get a bobblehead like this on a regular sized body. But yeah, granted, probably not the weirdest Ranger Key either. Just entirely. Because there are the Daboth Ranger Keys and the Megazord Ranger Keys. So yeah. So here we go with the Blue Ranger. Which his muscles, I believe, bulk out when he's in his suit. So yeah, he doesn't... his helmet is just... looks like a cone head. That's funny. And then the Gold Ranger. Which... yeah. Again, the nice metallic gold paint to compare him to, I believe, Stagbuster. Nice metallic gold paint. And again, 2 Kaiser. That's honestly really nice. So, yeah, and I think someone pointed out that they have, like, original key cuts, which it seems like they do for the most part. Obviously, the key cut on the top is, I think, mostly original, but the bottoms are definitely different, so it looks like what they're doing, Bandai is setting up for an eventual 3rd re-release of the Mobirates, technically the 2nd of the Memorial Mobirates, to have more sounds at some point in the future, and they're future-proofing these Ranger Keys to be able to work with it. Interestingly enough, we did not get a sound barrel or anything with these keys, which if you didn't know, the Ranger key sets for Jurei, or Shoryuger, I think Ninja, and I think Tokyuger did come, or at least most of them, did come with sound barrels to have like sounds for them, because obviously the original Mobirates and Legend Mobirates could not make sounds for them because they didn't record them at the time that those were being produced. Plus, they didn't give them original Ranger key cuts until, well, they redid them for these sets. So, yeah. So those keys don't work with the new Mobirates. But, yeah. So 5 Ranger teams here in the new 1 flip gimmick, more deluxe set. We obviously got upgrades to some of the paint apps with Zyuranger mainly, with having the trim around the visors for 3 of the 5 main Rangers. Hurricaneger, we got the white trim on the bottom of the helmets for, yeah, pretty much all of main 5. Go Busters, basically the same, just metallic paint on the visors. For some reason, the Yellow Ranger has the orange metallic paint instead of yellow. Which if you're outside of Japan, I guess if they do a replacement program or something for that, you're just screwed. Unless if, like, people in Japan get it and they resell it, but I don't know if Bandai's gonna do that. That'd be funny if at some point they re-release just, like, Yellow Buster in one of the, like, future Ranger key sets that I'm assuming they're planning on doing. So, yeah, but it's good to have beaten Stagbuster in the metallic paints. Didn't come with a Stagbuster civilian or form, or robot form, whatever he was. But it's like meh at the same time. So, yeah, and the main draw of this is obviously the Donbrothers keys, which they are fine. they don't make sounds in the Memorial Mobirettes, but at the same time, they will fit in the key slot of the Memorial Mobirettes. They just won't make any noises. The Memorial Gokai Cellular does have a sound recorded by the voice actor for them, so at some point, they're probably going, like I said, to re-release the Memorial Mobirettes and probably the Gokai Cellular again with new sounds for teams from Donbrothers to whatever the 50th anniversary Sentai will be in 3 years. So that's going to be interesting to see. So yeah, and they're probably just going to release Ranger Keys sets for those. I can imagine them releasing a Memorial Ranger Key set that has the anniversary heroes for every 7th, or every team ending in 7 for the numbers, as well as the 47th Sentai. I can see them doing that maybe later this year. I do hope that they do more sets over time, like if they were to do like 3 or 4 a year, every 3 or 4 months. That would be completely fine, in my opinion, especially if they're going to cost somewhere between like $150 to $200 US. That'd be fine. So yeah, the next Ranger Key set, or next Ranger Key anything I'm going to be reviewing is in May, when the memorial versions of the Gokai Saber and Gun are going to come out with the metallic versions of the Gokaiger Ranger Keys, the main 5. So yeah, I can't wait for that. Apparently, this I think is a rumor, but I don't know where it comes from. The metallic Ranger, or the metallic Gokaiger keys in that set are going to have like new key cuts or slightly different key cuts. I don't know what that would entail, but yeah. But yeah, it's interesting. So yeah, some of these are definitely re-releases, the Red Rangers specifically. But if you do not have these keys, and then also Dragon Ranger's also a re-release key as well. But if you, in this format at the very least, with the one flip gimmick. But if you do not have these keys, like I don't have 3/4 or no, 3/5. I don't have 3/5 of these teams in full. Or actually, no, I don't have 4/5 of these teams in full. If we're not counting Donbrothers, I don't have 3/4 of these teams in full. The only one I did have was Go-Busters, and 2 of them were not metallic. So, yeah, I only had the Red Rangers from them and Shurikangers. So, yeah, if you do not have these keys at all in the original forms or these new forms and you want to get them, I recommend getting them. They're pretty good in regards to looks and a lot of accuracy and everything. And they're pretty good. Again, there's only a couple like paint app mistakes I'll say maybe that they are, that I don't get, like the skirt line not being on blue. Maybe that wasn't on the original key, but I don't remember. Or I don't know. And the orange visor on Yellow Buster instead of, again, yellow, but that's about the only, like, mispaint that I am noticing with these. These are otherwise really good. If you're wanting... It's actually interesting as well, since they released this set at the beginning of the year for 2023, the Zyuranger keys coincide really well with the 30th anniversary of Power Rangers, and I assume that might have gone into it, like that may be a thought, because they know that they have to know through like YouTube videos and stuff that they can find that American fans of Power Rangers and Super Sentai are buying these keys. So, yeah, and I'm one of them. But there are a lot of international fans that are buying these keys that are either fans of Power Rangers, Super Sentai, or both, and they had to have known that releasing these keys in 2023 with the Zyuranger keys was going to fall pretty well with the anniversary of Mighty Morphin. So yeah, and especially since there's a Mighty Morphin 30th anniversary special coming out on Netflix in April, I believe. That's just interesting that it falls into that as well as since Hasbro's announced 30th anniversary stuff for Mighty Morphin, like the remastered versions of the Lightning Collection figures, which I'll get at some point, and then they released the Zap Megazord, and then Zap Dragon Zord, and then they're planning on probably doing other stuff as well. Like the Zap Tiger Zord has been like leaked/teased, so that'll be very interesting to see what they do. But otherwise, if you want to have these keys, I say go for it, because I like having Ranger keys, and I like having them in the most deluxe format I can get. So, yeah, I mean, that's why I bought a bunch of the older Ranger keys when I was still buying the older Ranger keys a decade ago. So, yeah. And I'll continue to buy these Ranger key sets as they come out. I just hope that they do more of them, and they release them in a good, timely manner. So, yeah. So, really not much else to say, guys. So, links in the description on my shit. Subscribe if you want. And I'll see you guys in the next one.